So as a data analyst, you need Excel. As a teacher, you need Excel. As an administrator, you need Excel. In fact, every walks of life, as far as numbers are concerned, you need Excel to lay out your work. So we'll be talking so much on the preliminary. There is a package under Microsoft Office, and just like we know, Microsoft Office houses Microsoft Office Word. We have our PowerPoint. We have Access. Excel is still part of it, and what have you. So we're dealing on Excel this evening. We're going to take a look at the environment. And let me let you know something. Do you know that Excel can even perform some statistical package for you? Yeah, Excel can perform some statistical package for you. And for the statistical package, you need to do some things, which I am going to do now to show you. How do I turn on the statistical package in Excel? This is one of the things I'll be teaching you this very evening, so that before we can now look at the interface of Excel. So when you come to File, on your, you go to your File on your menu bar, you head on to your Options. When you head on to your Options, you go to your add-ins. Add-ins are tools that came with Excel. So you click on your add-ins and you allow it to load. It's loading up. Just give it some time. Some people are still adding. Let me just add them up. Okay, you have your add-ins. As your add-ins are here, you come under here. Under here, say manage Excel add-ins. So you click on Go. You click on Go. When you click on Go, you see analysis toolpack, VBA, and the rest. So we're concentrating now on the first one. So you check this box, analysis toolpack. You check it. When you check it, you now say, okay. You observe what's going to happen very soon. So when you come to your data, what you just on your data on your ribbons here or your tab on your data, you see data analysis somewhere, and you can see me very well. So that means you have already set up your Excel. You have set up your Excel to be able to run some data analysis. And most of those data analysis in the statistics has to do with, like, you have your ANOVA analysis of variance, you have your t-test, and what have you. So I feel we should know about that before we can talk about any other thing in Excel. All right. So having done that, let's now go on to see what we can do in Excel. All right, here we are. So now we have our home, we have our insert, we have our page layout, our formulas, we have data, and what have you. So these are what the things, most of the things we'll be working on are embedded in this Excel workbook. Now, when you go into the Excel, we call it Excel workbook. Earlier versions of Microsoft Word, like Microsoft 2007, Office 27, anytime you open Excel, you get like 3 sheets arranged here for you. Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and Sheet 3. But these latest ones, they just give you 1 sheet. Now, Excel is made up of sheets. A workbook is made up of several sheets. So down here, you have Sheet 1. You can click on your plus, this plus to get Sheet 2, this plus to get Sheet 3, and so on, etc. Now, each of these sheets, you can rename them. Let's say you are doing a work for Benue State government, and you are working for constitutional local government, Taka local government, and the Boko local government and Ukum local government, you can double click on this sheet. When you double click, you can rename this to be constitutional local government. You can rename this to be Boko local government. You can rename this to Ukum local government, and you can rename this to Bandekea local government. You can rename all these constitutional local government, Boko local government, and as you want, so that you work with different sheets. Are we together? Now, Excel is made up of tabs, or what they call ribbons. You have your home, your file, your home, your insert, page layout, formats, have a data, have a review, have a view, and what have you. All right. Now, another thing that is very, very important about Excel is these columns, this heading that is labeled A, B, C to Z. In fact, if I start scrolling, you will even see the end. Before you see the end, it will take time. These things are very important. A, B, C, D. These columns are very important, and these rows are very, very important as time goes on. Another thing that is very, very important in Excel is what this box we are seeing here. We call it the name box. The name box, we also have a very important one we call the formula bar. Are we together? Now, the name box tells you the name of each box. You see the one I'm clicking these things. All these boxes are unique. Why are they unique? Just like your name is unique. These boxes are unique because they have specific names, we call them. How do you know the names? Each box you click, you go to the name box, you call it, you see what is written H7. The H7, H stands for the column, and the 7 for the row. You know, they are intersecting here to give you H7. So in Excel, we always make reference to the name box. We make reference to the cell name. So what do I mean? If I come to this A1 now, and I type 23. If I want to refer to 23, I will call it A1. I won't call it 23. Why? Because something else can take the place of 23. Are we together? So that is the beauty of Excel. So these things are very, very unique. So I tell people that when you're working with Excel, you have everything laid out for you. You see, all these things have been laid out for you, but you need to know where you're working from and where you're working to. You need to know where you're working from and where you are working to. Please, are we following? Can you get my audio very well? And are you getting yourself engrossed with the teaching? Thank you so much for that prompt response. Now, this is the basics, and if you can follow me, you don't have problem, in this tutorial. Now, having taken you through the name box and the columns A, B, C, and A1, you can know which one is H. If I tell you, give me J9, how do you do that? Just trace your J with your 9. You see, the J is highlighted, the 9 is highlighted. So you're on cell J9. So back to what I was saying. So this is 23. I write 23. That 23, I won't call it 23. I will call it cell A1. When I say if I call cell A1, then 23 will answer. And how do 23 answer? 23 will reveal itself on cell A1. So let me my senior Barnabas Undi has just joined. Very, very important. So back to where we are presenting. Now, let me help you can we now call cell A1 to appear? And where do we want it to appear? We want it to appear on cell D6. Now, for you to call it, you must bring a formula. When we call formula, as people will start complaining, please, You don't need to complain. No matter how you want to run away from mathematics, you will not run away from mathematics. So something, somehow, you will come to mathematics again. So Excel, has something to do with mathematics. Take note of that. But it's not very hard because the formulas will be laid out for you. Now, so let's call cell A1. Every formula, all the formulae in Excel precedes equal sign. Take note of that. No matter how, infinitesimal in terms of value a formula is, no matter how large the formula is, there must be an equal sign before you can write any formula. Are we together? So we are trying to call cell A1. So let's go on and call. So I'll write equal. I can come here and click here, or I can impute it manually, whichever way you want to do. So I come here, I click here. You say equal, say A1. So when I've done that, I just press enter. And look at what happens. I have now replicated cell A1 in cell D6. Now, what does that mean? When you do this in Excel, the term we use in Excel is that we'll tell you that you have formatted the Excel sheet. That's what it means. I formatted it. Why is it formatted? How do I know that it is formatted? I will know that it is formatted when I go to cell A1 and type 40 and press enter. You see what happens? You see that correlation? Whatever I type in cell A1 replicates, it repeats itself. If I go there and delete whatever that is there, cell D6 will return 0, meaning that there is no value in the cell A1 cell. We call them cells. All these are cells. It's not the prison cell. It's just the terminology for Excel. Are we following? Let me get a feedback. Are we following? In as much as we are doing the basics, I won't be wasting so much time trying to take us back to, two basics. So we are going straight to the point. Now, let's populate our worksheet. For instance, okay, what do we come up with now? Yes, let's come up with a value. I have a student. Sorry. I have name of student there, and I'm a math teacher, and I want to compile their have their first CA or have their second CA continuous assessment. And some schools used to have third CA, and then we now have the total CA, and we now have exam, and then grand total. Now let's work with this. You are a teacher and you want to set up something like this. Now, you should know very well that in Excel, these columns have been given a specific width. This is from here to here, from here to here. But just like your knowledge in Microsoft Word, you can extend them. What do I mean? You can come over here. At this stage, you come here. Come over here. When you come over here, at this in between A and B, I can drag and extend name, because I know very well that the name of students will be so much, so they'll be long. The string or the digits or the character will be longer. So the first CA can remain this way, second CA this way, third CA this way, total CA, then exam, and then grand total. But if you believe me, you see that this space for grand total is just enough to accommodate the over 100. Maybe from 0 to 100. So, but if you observe, the total somehow extends beyond the G column. So what you do, instead of dragging, I don't like dragging every time dragging. You can simply come here and double click, something of that nature. When you double click, the column will just adjust and fit in, accommodate the grand total. It won't be oversized. It will just be so enough for it. So having said that, let's now populate. So notice our class. So I have Chiotelumu is here with us, and we have let me use some of my these are our private schoolmates. We have Tshirt Kumade, for instance. Let's say Victor Juku is here, and we'll have Akume Bendo, for instance. And mind you, I'm a good teacher. Nobody will fail. Nobody will fail. So first year, I'm a mathematics teacher. So first year, over let's say they're taking 20, 10 percentage. So first year, this one got an 8. Just press your tab key. This one got an 8. Everybody got, and here it got a 6 or 7. Then Chia Tekuma has got a 9 here, got an 8 here, got an 8 here. Then Victor Sayo got a 8 here, got a 7 here, got an 8 here. Then finally Bendo got a 9 here, got an 8 here, and got a 9 here. So now observe something. When you come to Excel, Excel takes it that anything you are imputing that is a value, Excel takes it to be, it formats it to be what do you call it, like an amount, like money. He arranges, these things, in Microsoft Word, you have to align something left or right. But look at Excel, is already aligning it to the right. Anytime I type a digit, it takes it to the right, because it's trying to let you know that I am here to help you arrange your figures. If you remember 100 tens and units, 1,000, 100 tens and units, Excel is here to arrange it for you very, very well. But when you are writing a normal text, it flows from the left to the right. So take note of that. Don't be confused that Excel is pushing everything to the right. Now, we are starting from little arithmetics. Little arithmetics. So let's do a little arithmetics here. How do we now sum up all this CA to get our total CA? This is how we're going to do it. So let's sum this up and see how we go about that. How do you sum this up? I say every summation begins with equal. Any formula begins with equal to. After writing equal, I will pick this. Now, instead of picking them, this, the plus is on your keyboard, plus this, plus this. I press enter. It gives us 23. That would be very, very, straight. It takes your time. So if I write equal to, and I highlight, most of us know how to highlight, and I highlight from this end to this end, is what happens. It writes for me B2. This is a column, D2. That column in Excel means 2, as in TO. That means you are trying to evaluate from B2 through C2, then finally to D2. But if you press enter here, it's going to write this top value, meaning Excel doesn't understand what you are trying to do. So let me explain what this means. If you double click here, if you must use B2 to D2, then you must bring in your summation inside. When you bring your summation, then every other thing will be in parentheses. I think it's very, very clear. So let me get 23. So let me go back. This is step-by-step approach. So let's sum up now. So equal to sum, bracket open. Now, every variable, every function in Excel has been programmed. You can't come and impute your own. So as I'm writing sum, you see sum is already written here, meaning that I'm writing the right thing. Don't go and write summation. Summation, Excel will not understand that. So when I write sum is written here. I can double click here. Immediately you double click here, you see it brings you an initial bracket, a parenthesis, telling you to enter number 1. So my number 1 is B2. I will not come and write 8. I told you before. I'll write B2. So I write B2. Then I will now use what I told us, which is the column. You know how to get a column in your on your keyboard. B2 to where? To D2. D2 is here. Then after everything, you can close your bracket. But sometimes when you don't close your bracket, Excel may help you, but it's good you close the bracket. And then you press down, you press your enter, and you have your 23 as your answer. I think it's very, very clear. So we have two ways to get the summation. You can come here and write equal to B2 plus C2 plus D2. This is another way. And once you are adding, see they are giving different colors to tell you that you are dealing with different cells. When you press enter, the same formula. So that is good to in a computer, you just need to work your way very fast. Then after doing that, what do you now do? Will I keep repeating this formula here? No. I've gotten the formula here. If you are sure that what you have gotten is correct, all you need to do is to come to this handle. If you look at these balls, these green balls surrounding this, there's a handle there. When you go on the handle, you can double click on it. This is what happens. It will give you the summation for everything that you have done. I do Ctrl Z. If another way you can do that, if double clicking is an issue, you can just come here and drag it down this way. And you are good to go in Excel. Okay, having done that, we'll now go to the exam. Okay, this exam, our exam is 70%, while the CA is 30%. I have a very wonderful student, very, very wonderful students. So the exams now, over 70, they are very, very competitive. So almost all of them got a 67 in the exam. Having gotten 67 all through, I will now come down here to get the grand total. The grand total. You are going to focus on your total CA and the total exam. Is it not? Yes, simple arithmetic. So you can say E2 2. Sorry, E2 to what? F2. When you press enter, you see the student is scoring 90. Can you see that? But there's another way you can do this. I use 2 when the values are much, but the values are just 2. So you can even say equal to E2 plus, without using the summation, the sum formula, plus this. That's all. Enter. It gives you 90. Anyhow you can do it is to still give you the answer. After everything now, you can now drag down. You see? Let me tell you, you might not appreciate what we are doing here because our data is just 4 students. If you have 1,000 students and you are compiling this, that's when you appreciate it. Just doing for only one, when you drag it, you don't need to drag, just double click and everything will run through. Let me drag down. You see what is happening? It's bringing down 0, 0, 0. You know why? Because there are no values yet. So as I drag it down, let's see what is going to happen. Ugo, please. Yes, it's actually add record for him. So let me add this record now. Let's say you see, are you seeing what is happening? Because I formatted these things. When I come and remove this 8, it's go back to 15. He scored 15 in total CA. So let me bring back the 8. You see, I press tab key or enter. It gives 23. It gives him grand total 23 because exam score is not yet there. Let's say he scores 68. Or let's say everybody scores 67. And I press enter. You see, the 90 is there. Mind you, what was here before was 0. But the 90 is now there. So that is the importance of Excel. You don't need to stress yourself on computing, on computation, on anything that has to do with analysis. So these are just the elementaries